Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Matt. I'm the training manager here at Beacon Software. And since it's Friday, that means Beacon's bringing you new features, demos, and overall how-tos on some of the different products that we offer for Dispatch Anywhere and TowMagic. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the DA driver app. So this is a fundamental piece of the software. All of your drivers would be using this product to receive calls and possibly update them for you. So today, we're going to take a look at some of the features, their settings, how they can get signatures in the field for potential damage waivers or just on their tow tickets. We're also going to look at pre-trip inspections. So we have a lot to cover today, so we're going to jump straight in. All right, so here is my login screen for the Dispatch Anywhere driver app. All right, so I already have this configured, so I'm going to go ahead and jump straight in. We'll log in. All right, so the first thing it's going to do, let me see my camera here, it's going to ask to scan a vehicle code to start your shift. All right, so we have done a previous video on this, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this up in our Dispatch Anywhere here. All right, so I'm going to get our QR code. So I'm going to run this for the mat truck. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and scan this QR code now. Bring back my phone. So what it's going to do is going to bring up our pre-trip inspection right now at this point. So we have a couple things on our list. So the grinder equipment, safety equipment, mirrors, horn, tires, etc. So the driver at this point would go through and mark what's either passed or failed. They can mark all of them if they need to. They could also put remarks, and I can say something, tires are low, filled to recommended, PSI, whatever I need to do, and then I can hit save. In this example, since I failed one, this is going to go back to the owner or whoever needs to, maybe our mechanic that needs to see this, and they'll know that, the mat truck failed inspection for the tires. We also have reports in the system, and then the drivers are going to have this on their phones in case they have to pull it up later. All right, so we'll look at that in here in a little bit. All right, so that's the pre-trip inspection. If you want to learn how to set that up or add different items to the list, go ahead and check out one of our other Feature Friday videos. We actually have a couple of those already done. But if you have any questions, obviously give us a call as well. All right, so the next thing we're going to take a look at is the driver settings before we jump into some of these calls. So in the top left-hand corner, there's those three lines. It slides out our menu for us. So we can see things like our assigned calls, which we're seeing mine now. We can see previous jobs that the driver may have done. We can switch trucks if the driver's getting into a different truck. We can scan a different QR code. Latest inspection. So if we go ahead and click on that, we'll see that most of those things that I did this morning have failed. So the tire is the one that failed, and I have my note on there. And then settings and help. So the help section allows them to see other videos that they may need to see, but we're going to go into the settings section here. All right, so I can change a couple of these things here. And again, we did a video on this last week, but they can change their job labels if they'd rather see it by job, PO, or ticket number. Show the requested by, they may or may not want to see that. If they have the Bluetooth printers selected, they can go ahead and do that. Enable tracking. Again, we covered this last week, but the drivers have the ability to turn off tracking, but you can force it on with one of their settings. Notification tones, this is really what I want to look at. So the drivers can change different tones here, especially if they have an iPhone. The notification default tone is pretty low, even on Android sometimes. So the drivers can come in here and change this to one of these louder tones. So, they'll be able to hear it in the truck and so forth. So mine's on foghorn, so you can kind of hear, it's a pretty substantially loud ringtone for that when they get alerts. And then other things here, they can connect the Square reader if you're using the Square integration, and if they're having any problems, they can send us a diagnostic report as well. All right, so we'll go out of that here. All right, so next we're going to jump into a current job. So I actually have 3 calls queued up on me right now. So I have a new call that's unconfirmed, my confirmed call, and then my arrived call. So we do have the ability to stack calls for the drivers if we have that need. But we're going to go into a new job, which is my top one here. All right, so we got this open here. So the first thing I want to do before I confirm this is down the right-hand side, I have some of these quick actions. So next to my contact and owner name, I have a telephone number. If I needed to call the the customer, I can go ahead and click on that, and it's a one-touch dial. If I need turn-by-turn directions, I can use these navigation arrows next to the pickup and potentially drop-off address. And this will take me into my Google Maps, Apple Maps, whatever I'm using. And then if I use that little eye or information icon next to my car, in this case it's a 2012 Honda Civic, I'll go ahead and click on that. This is going to load up a website. This is for our tow spec website. So this will give us things like, approximate weight of the vehicle, it's a front wheel drive car, recommended ways to tow it, alternative methods. Some of these will have instructions, talking about the automatic door locks, tow limits, tie down points, jack points, things like that. Sometimes in addition to this, you'll have additional tower tips, just other tips we've received from towers that have been verified and entered into the software. So you'll see that from time to time in here as well. But the driver should have everything that they need to tow this vehicle or service this vehicle, depending on what they're doing in the field. All right, so we'll go back into our app here. All right, so continuing down, billing information, services, timestamps, etc. So if you have given your driver the ability to add services, which can be shut off, that little pencil icon will appear. All right, in this case, I have the tow and in-route miles on here. So the in-route miles, I'm going to show you on this one. I'll click on it. It's already been calculated for us, but if the driver needs to calculate it, they can hit this calculate button or the calculator icon and just hit the calculate button at the bottom and it will calculate the distance. So in this case, it's 18 miles, but I could hit the calculate and it would find it for me as well. So the drivers do have that ability. They could also use their odometer readings, the start and ending, to get the distance if they want to do that as well. So they have a couple different options. Right. They could add other services too. So if I wanted to add, I don't know, maybe I had to use dollies, for example. I could add a comment, but I could save it. And that would add my service to the call. Again, this is completely optional if you turn this on for the drivers. They may or may not be able to do that or even see that icon. All right. But I'm going to go ahead and confirm it. So I'll hit the check mark here. So once I confirm it, my icons across the bottom should change, which they do. So now I have a stopwatch, picture, tow ticket, payment, and then more options. At this point, once the driver confirmed it, you would have gotten that back on your dispatch side. All right. Now, with the time stamping, so let me start with the first icon here. As long as that driver goes en route to that call, that's going to now set up the automatic timestamp or at least reminders for the driver in the field. So when they arrive at the location, if they don't already timestamp it after a couple minutes, the phone will automatically timestamp that they're at their incident location. And then for the rest of the trip, it will remind them as they get to their destination or when they drop the vehicle that they should be timestamping their calls. So that's a newer feature that was added recently, but the drivers do have to go at least en route to that call before that feature actually happens. All right. So, but arrive would be automatic unless they do it themselves. All right. Other couple features here. So if we do the picture option, so no images on this call. So if I take a couple of pictures here, let's take a picture of like my desk. Maybe I want to take a picture of my coffee cup, whatever it is. The driver has the ability to add multiple pictures at the same time, like I did here. So they can maybe walk the four corners of the vehicle, take all those pictures. They can pull pictures from their gallery if they want to as well, but they have the option to upload, maybe they need 4, 5, 10 pictures at the same time. They can do that all at once. And as you can see, it's pretty quick. It should upload almost immediately to the call. So that's one way to add pictures. All pictures are dated and time-stamped as well, and most of them are geolocated. So what that basically means is, if you look at that picture on your call, there's a map attached to it, and it's going to show exactly where that driver took the picture. So that might help with, damage discrepancies. You damaged my vehicle after the fact. You'll have a map and a geolocation exactly where the picture was taken. So that could be at your pickup location before you guys even touch the vehicle. So that's all built into the app as well. Now the tow ticket, the middle icon here, this allows us to send a receipt to the customer, so I can email it with the first icon. I can print it if you have the little Bluetooth printers, and then I can capture a signature all the way to the right. So I'm going to capture my signature. So I'm going to put my customer's name in there. Let's just say it's me. Continue. If we have a damage waiver, either a tow ticket or a legal statement, this is the point that it's going to come up. So I have a generic tow ticket message and a generic legal statement that we're using. But at this point, your customer should be reading this over and clicking I agree. So this thing will flip here. And now at this point, they're able to sign on the driver's phone. So we'll hit submit. So not only did we get a signature on there, or there's our signature now, we got them to sign off on our potential damage waiver if we're using that. And then again, with all the signatures, pictures, anything in the software, all this is dated and timestamped as well. All right. The other thing you can do with the tow ticket, and again, we have a setup training on this, is if you wanted to hide pricing on your tow ticket, you could do that. So that means you can send out a tow ticket or a receipt to your customer without them seeing the pricing. So this might be helpful for any of your motor club accounts. You can still get that customer a receipt, but they don't need to see the pricing that the motor clubs are potentially paying you. So that is another option. Payments allows us to take payments in the field. All right. So let's say they're paying, cash, check, whatever it is, and I hit continue. It'll bring up a receipt. I can email it, print it, or no thanks, depending on what I want to do. I'm going to click no thanks for right now. If you're using Square integration, Card Connect, Sage or Paya, Express Pay, any of the different solutions that we offer, the driver's going to be able to run that credit card in the field. If you're interested in that, our first Feature Friday that we did explains all of that, so go check out that video if you're interested. And then the only other thing here, the other thing that the driver has is the last icon, the 3 dots at the bottom. And they have 2 options, one for a key drop-off and one for a vehicle damage. So let me do the key drop-off really quick first. So this is saying, who am I delivering the keys to? So let's say it's Dan. I continue. At this point now, Dan will sign off on that keys, or for the keys, I should say. And it's going to be saved to our call now at this point. So that customer may call tomorrow, hey, you guys dropped off this car yesterday, where are the keys? Well, dispatch or whoever might need to manage that call can go in and be like, oh, it looks like Dan signed for it yesterday at, 1 p.m., whatever it is. And then you have that proof that they signed for it instead of blaming your driver, things like that. The other option here is the vehicle damage. So right now I don't have anything started, so I'm going to hit the plus to start our vehicle damage. We're basically looking at a flattened out car now. So let's just say, I don't know, maybe the tire is low. I can say that it's other rear passenger tire low. Right. I can attach a picture specifically to that damage point as well. I'll take a picture in my notebook here. All right, hit continue. All right, so that photo has been uploaded. I have 1 damage point at this point. All right, so rear passenger tire low, dated and timestamped like everything else. At this point, I can repeat the process for as much damage that there might be on that vehicle. Do a customer confirmation. I agree with the driver's assessment of this vehicle, and then all the damage listed. I agree. Person's name again. Let's pretend it's me. Continue. And now your customer is signing off on the pre-existing damage that's on their vehicle. So not only do you have a potential damage waiver you can use, you actually have a diagram that your driver can mark and mark any damage, plus getting your customer signature on it. So those are the different options the driver has. At a minimum, they should be time-stamping the call. The other 2 things that they may want to do are just other features we've added recently. In the upper right-hand corner, you can see that pencil icon. Sometimes you'll have required fields for the driver, whether it's them to get a VIN number, a plate, whatever the case is. In this example, I have to get the VIN, odometer, and then the car information. If we require the driver to get the VIN number, they can obviously type the thing in. If they click that little magic wand at the end of the line, they'll get 2 options, one for a scan, one for a magic VIN. The scan is going to be for the driver's side door, so if they need to just scan it, they can get the VIN that way. Magic VIN, this allows us to enter the license plate and state abbreviation. So if I use Beacon 2 and Ohio, and I hit Get VIN in the upper right-hand corner, this is going to confirm that it's a Saturn Sky, and it gives me the VIN number. So if I click on it, it will add it to my call here. And then I can enter my things like my odometer readings, etc., and hit save. It's telling me, because I didn't put an odometer reading in, that I do have unfinished fields. Are you sure you want to continue, yes or no? So the drivers do have a way to skip this if they want to. They have to have a way to get out of the call, but they are reminded that they are skipping this. So it's not more of a I forgot to do it, it's a you purposely skipped it type thing. So I'm going to hit yes in this case. I tried to do this ahead of time with a pencil. The driver is prompted for that when they finish the call automatically as well. So they will have another chance to basically fill that out if they're using the pencil icon. Again, they don't have to. It's just if some drivers like to do it ahead of time, they can do it ahead of time. Otherwise, when they finish the call, they'll be prompted for it. The last thing we have here, and this is a newer feature, is the be first to comment in the middle there. This is what we call job discussions. This is a way your driver and dispatcher can send messages back and forth without having to call each other. So if I put a message in here, I don't know, hello. All right, that would go back to dispatch. And dispatch would be able to send me a message as well and enter it on here. All the conversations are dated and time-stamped. They can't be deleted, which is nice. So that's all saved if they need to send messages back and forth, or maybe dispatch needs to send a separate note to the driver. They can do it through this section here. But this is a somewhat newer feature. A lot of our customers are using it. It just, maybe people aren't aware of it. So I like to bring it up because it is a great newer feature that we have added. So with that basically sums up the driver app and all the features that they have or what they can use while they're in the field. So we took a look at things like the pre-trip inspection, quick actions, ways to get signatures on the tow ticket, damage waivers, and even payments today. So a lot of great features that we've added, and as always, we're always adding new features and always looking for feedback from our customers. So if you like the videos that we're doing and you want to get updated every week, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Every Friday at 1 o'clock, we'll have new features. But if there's any questions, as always, leave a comment in the section below, or give us a call, or send us a support ticket, and one of our staff members will be able to help you out immediately. With that, I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Take care, everybody.